Guys, welcome back to Raw Focus. My name is Jeramie. I am your host. I own Jeramie Loop Photography. And during the coronavirus, I pivoted and started a podcast. I already have a YouTube channel. I have everything else going, but I wanted a way to communicate with people, and I thought this would be a good way. Kind of always thought about a podcast. So we're a whole bunch of episodes in. So thank you guys so much for joining me. If you guys haven't had the chance yet, please subscribe to the podcast. You can find me here where you're listening to or anywhere else. And that's a general, I've tried to put it everywhere so you guys can find it. Today is a fun episode. I'm talking to Joel Cochran, who apparently we used to ride bikes together. And I went to school with him. He's a year under me. And so we've known each other for quite a long time. Probably at this point, I would say 22 years at least, at the minimum, right? I've known him as an adult in the fitness world, CrossFit particularly. We were in a CrossFit gym together. He was part of the Double Edge. I was a photographer for them. And he has now branched off into a company called Icon Fitness, which is his own company, which he has opened up and created a 12-week program. Here's the thing, guys. I'm vegan. We talk about veganism in this. We talk about diet. We talk about health. We talk about how people are dying sooner. And it gets to the point where when you need to get some help on diet and weight, you need to hire a professional. I can tell you from my 36 years being here that I've tried everything, guys. I've tried to do it myself. Has apps on my phone. And if you're already looking for apps and you know you need help, I'm trying to do things on my own, and it's really not working. Veganism has really got me to where I am right now, but I'm plateauing. My daughter's always talking about weight loss. My wife's always talking about weight loss. And so we want to I just want to get them help, and that's kind of where it is. So when this kind of came out, his business opened. He's about 5-6 months in. I decided to get him on and kind of talk to him. And I actually learned a ton in this hour conversation. So I hope you guys do too. Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned. Look back at the past episodes. But this is Joel Cochran with Icon Fitness.
Dang.
Oh, buddy.
You're in the official, like a whistle. I mean, what would I expect? I can't expect anything less.
I mean, if you're going to do a podcast, you got to do a podcast.
Heard that. I mean, shoot, I just got my little webcam. You got for sure.
Good,
you for sure got some type of camera.
Yeah, I got some type of camera. So actually, if you ever get into it, there's a thing called Cam Link, and you can put that into any DSLR or mirrorless camera, and then you can actually use your camera instead of like the webcam of the computer. So you can
really?
Yeah. So this is just like a $400 camera, but it's just better than this camera.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's
oh yeah.
Sort of chill. How's everything going, buddy?
Good, brother. Good. Yeah. Things are cruising, and business is going well, and just doing my thing, dude.
I mean, yeah. So, I was talking to Dr. Nick Botter of oh my God, Be Ortho. He's an orthodontist out in Summit.
Cool.
That knows you from Double Edge, and actually he knows Ian.
What's his name?
Is it Nick Botter?
Oh yeah. Botter. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just see his name on there. I just know him as Dr. Nick, so I'm like, I don't even know what his last name is.
Yeah.
But our kids started going to see him, so yeah, it's been pretty. I mean, so far it's been pretty good for everything.
That's great, dude. That's
great. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw this on live, Facebook Live, but we're not even gonna look at it. We're just gonna talk, so it's there. It helps promote the podcast a little bit.
Sure.
But I'm going to tag Icon and then tag you, so you can post and share that later on. But we'll talk a lot about that. And then just life in general.
Sure.
But what did you have going on today? What'd you do?
For today?
Yeah, what's been on the agenda?
So today was, when you have your day that's like, I'm all about like productivity and being able to like own your day. If not, your day is going to own you. And there's also that flexibility that sometimes, what you had planned is just gonna slap you.
Right.
And there were some different things that popped up that I thought were going to be available that I was going to have, and it wasn't available.
Oh man. Yeah. I mean,
And so
that's
you just got to pivot.
yeah. I mean, that's literally everything that's happening right now. All right. So I'm going onto Facebook right now. How many people are liking your page right now? Because there's a ton of Icon Fitnesses. Is it Fitness Icon? Icon Fitness.
It's Icon Fitness, and it's gonna be a yellow circle with an I and an F. It looks like a mountain.
Okay. Oh wait, there's a mountain.
It looks.
Do you have 6,400 people like this?
No.
Oh, that's not a
like,
mountain.
Like.
Oh wait, is it like a circle and then Icon Fitness is below?
Yeah, it should be
below the logo. Circle up top. One person check. Yeah, I think it looks like a newer one. I'm gonna use that one. Subscribe to the podcast anywhere you get podcasts. All right.
Yeah.
Circle. All right.
Yeah. Look like that?
Yeah, that's it. So I'm gonna tag you on that and this right now. So we're live. It's gonna be there, but I'm not gonna look at it. But dude, I thank you. First off, thank you for doing this. We were just talking about pivoting, and this was one of my pivots. I have a YouTube channel. I have all this stuff. I talk about photography, fatherhood, just life in general.
Right.
And one of the things that I've always wanted to do is create a podcast, but I didn't want to change too much. And with COVID and being at home, I just did that pivot and went to this podcast. But my goal is I really wanted to talk to people that I knew, but I didn't know. So,
sure.
I mean, we went to high school at the same time. Mm-hmm. I think you're 2 years younger than me. And I went to school with your brother. How old are you?
What, did you graduate 2002?
I graduated 2002.
Yeah, I was 03.
Yeah, so one whole year. And so I remember you there, but then it wasn't until I just started CrossFit training, and we have a whole history of CrossFit in me because I have memberships. I just pay CrossFit to. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, just to have the name.
Somewhere.
Yeah,
I did it. Yeah, same. So another CrossFit gym, and then I remember one day, garage opens. We were about to start, and you're just hauling in weights and all this shit to do like I don't know a CrossFit thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, dude, I know you. And then you were ripped, and I was like, what the fuck's happening? Like, this is what CrossFit does. But we're talking to Icon Fitness because that's what you're doing now. That's your new business. Sure. But then we talked again, and you guys hired me at Double Edge Fitness CrossFit to do a bunch of commercial work, and that's stuff that I love doing.
Yeah.
But dude, how is the life? I mean, I want to kind of talk about how you got into fitness and all that.
Sure.
And then really just what's going on and what made you go on your own, because that's a scary thing. So,
sure.
Let's just start chatting, buddy.
Yeah, sure. So, how I got into fitness, I mean, fitness has always been part of my life due to the fact that I always played sports, so, I mean, sports were always just part of my life. I mean, we used to ride bikes together, like BMX bikes and.
Oh my God. I don't even remember that.
Yeah, you do. Yes, you do. Don't lie. But it just was always part of my life, played high school football and ran track. Okay. And in college, I did a little bit of the club lacrosse up at the University of Nevada. Played intramurals, continued to play slow pitch softball and intramural football and so on and so forth. And it wasn't until actually after college, after I finished with my degree, and I was I wasn't in the best relationship at that time. And so I was just kind of drinking a lot, and I was heavy. Like there's a picture out there. It's actually probably on my Facebook page where people probably wouldn't recognize the heavy face because I put a lot of weight in my face.
I mean, and it was because of this negative relationship. Did you guys drink together, or was that your relationship? Was just you guys?
Yeah, we drank together, and I graduated college, so it was like, what are you gonna do? I'm gonna freaking travel. I'm gonna go drink beers, right? I'm gonna go, go with my snow bros, and we're gonna go to Colorado, and we're going to go to Oregon. We're going to go to all these different places and go snowboard because it's awesome, right? Cha, bro.
Oh my God. Cha.
And so it was a drink fest. It was a drink fest, and I was probably 195 pounds. And I was definitely not ripped, and I definitely was not in shape, and, you know, battling depression as well, and anxiety because I was drinking so much.
Just in a circle, right? A cycle of you can't get out because you got to drink to stop thinking about that. And when you stop drinking, you think about that.
Oh yeah. I mean, I would go in post-alcoholic depression easy.
Oh my God.
Alcohol just never was a good thing for me.
Right.
You know, I gave up.
Do you drink now?
No, I gave up alcohol in December was my last drink during the holidays. I had a drink.
Oh, wow.
It was one drink, and I went, man, I'm already feel like I have anxiety because I know that I don't really want this. Right. And so I just said, why? No more. And so I just went, no more.
Yeah, I like that. So you kind of, was it, I mean, safe to say it was a cold turkey kind of thing, or is it something you were thinking about and then finally you just got to the point where?
See, I mean, I was gluten intolerant and I didn't know. So for the longest time, I would just have diarrhea and just be crapping my brains out all the time.
Right.
And it wasn't until I went and saw the doctor. The doctor's like, yeah, you're gluten intolerant. Stop having gluten. Well, a lot of beers have gluten in it, right?
Right.
And so then I started being like really selective on what I was drinking. Was like, well, maybe I'll drink, you know, more hard alcohol, or I'd have to get gluten-free beers, or and I would still end up getting, you know, massive headaches, post-alcoholic depression, anxiety, and I was just like, for what? And so I slowed down my drinking, and then it really just was one of those moments where I knew I was going to give it up. And it was that moment when I had one Corona and I was already feeling like garbage, and I was just like, why? I don't want to feel like garbage. I want to feel great all the time. And so that was my... I can
relate. I don't drink often. You know, my parents, my dad has a gambling history. He's no longer with us. We had a gambling history. And I remember being excluded from a lot of things that they were doing because they wouldn't allow me to see my dad that way. But drinking's kind of the same way for me. I still drink occasionally, but I mean, I'm not a fun guy at a party that'll like pound shots with you. Like I'll have 2 drinks and I'm like, I'm cool, I'm done.
Right.
But also on the other end, I know that I can also drink too much. And it's that Asian thing where you get with a bunch of Asian people, you're doing Heinekens, you're taking shots, and you just never want the party to start. If the restaurant closes, where do we go now? Where do we go now? And then while it's happening in my mind, I'm like, this is stupid. And then I wake up regretting life. And I'm like, just, you know, being 36 now, my hangover is like 4 days long.
And with kids and
a
business, it's just like, for what?
It's not worth it. But yeah, it sounds like, you know, I mean, it sounds like you made that choice, and it seems like you feel happier, you feel more successful, you get to focus a little bit more on what you're doing, hence the new business and all that. Yeah.
100%. It was one of the better decisions I've made in my life. I mean, I still drink beer. They're just non-alcoholic beers. And my favorite company is actually a company that only does craft non-alcoholic beers. And it's
what are they called?
Athletic Brewing Company.
Of course, it's athletic.
I know, right?
Athletic Brewing Company. They're getting tagged on this.
Yeah, their beers are some of the best beers that I've had just in general, taste-wise.
Right.
They're all non-alcoholic. They do an amazing job.
Which is good. I mean, people joke about non-alcoholic beers and all that, but really when you're drinking beer, you love the taste. And as long as you're not going to like, you know, pound 10 of them and get super drunk, they do the job. They keep you social. People sometimes still think you're drinking a beer, so you don't have to have that conversation of why they got to change your mind on, you know, how you can tolerate alcohol and all that junk. And there's nothing wrong with it. Like I'm a big soda with lime fan, or soda water, and I'll just go and sometimes I'll just have that, and it just breaks the conversation of like why you're not drinking. I just don't have to explain to every single person. And if I do want to drink, I'm going to drink. But I'm also the guy that, you know, if I do drink a whiskey, it's going to be an expensive whiskey because, like I said, I don't want to have 15 of them. Yeah. So back when you gained all that weight and you were fit for, like, you were doing sports and you were doing all that stuff, is it safe to say that you were fit because you were active and not because you were fitness focused? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as high school was over, I was still going to the gym even when I was playing sports,
Okay.
like fitness has always been part of my life and being active. And I think my parents did a really good job in terms of just always keeping us outside. And I mean, we
Right.
come from a different generation in terms of not having as much technology. And so,
Totally.
our creativity was created by our minds and not by the screens. And not that I'm not that kind of guy that like slams like technology and gaming and that kind
Right.
of stuff. And
It's just the time we're living in, I mean, we
that
both
was
have to
just
adapt to
what
technology right now. So,
yeah, 100%. And so, fitness was always just part of it and part of my life. And it wasn't until that point where I didn't have college, I was in a bad relationship, all these different things kind of lined up that I was like kind of looking for an escape.
right.
And one of my buddies who was like classic CrossFit, running it out of his gym or his garage,
Right.
invited me to come over, and I went over. And so I started off the classic way, which is in somebody's garage, and then went to a even more, grungy gym to start off.
Right. And I mean, I kind of like that. I think that's, just that, yeah, lifting whatever is heavy. You don't know the weight. You don't know what it is. You're just lifting as much as you can. I like the idea of CrossFit. For me, it was just timing and scheduling and all that, of everything. I'm a big fan of working out with people, but not talking to people. So I like that group environment, but I don't really want to talk to people. Also, we'll get into this later, but the scariest thing for me in CrossFit was I always feel that my competitive side comes out really heavily. And pull-ups, like I can do pull-ups now. Like today I can do pull-ups, but like when I was starting CrossFit and I'd have to pull the band out. Well, but do kipping, do pull-ups, and I'm pulling the band out and I'm just like this. I'm sitting there am I getting a workout in? And then we'll talk about a couple things that didn't work. So you get into CrossFit.
Sure.
And then where does that take you? Does that take you then to Double Edge with people that are opening it, or do you just start kind of floating around, or where does your role come into play?
Yeah, so I mean, getting into CrossFit, just really loving it. I then went and got my level 1 certification. So they have 4 levels of certification. Back then, I think they only had 2. And so I went and got my level 1 CrossFit certification, which is the base foundation to be a CrossFit coach.
Does that allow you to start training people, or what does that do?
Yeah, that you're able to teach people CrossFit methodologies, right?
Okay.
In a CrossFit gym. So you can't teach people CrossFit and be under the name, the trademark name of CrossFit without being a level 1 CrossFit coach. So you can teach the methodologies, but not have CrossFit to the name.
Okay. Do people do that? Is there something that's CrossFit that's not CrossFit?
Yeah, I mean, CrossFit is just functional fitness, right? Functional training, which is our day-to-day movements, free weights, and that's where you saw Orange Theory come in at 45.
Right. Okay.
All these Barry's Boot Camp and all these kind of functional move towards this HIIT style training, right? High intensity interval training, because that really wasn't a thing until CrossFit started kind of creating this popularity, and there were people who were like, well, I mean, I really like the intensity, the way that looks, but I actually don't like the intensity because it's scary as hell,
Shit, yeah. I mean,
and
it is
super scary, and that's one of the benefits and one of the drawbacks of CrossFit. Every single time and it really just depends on the gym and how it's presenting itself and marketing and branding and so on and so forth. But that's kind of the style, and you see it quite often. I mean, Orange Theory is crushing it.
Right. Yeah. And I was actually talking to somebody that was with Orange Theory, that does workouts there. And it said something about the orange light does something. Cause I was like, why is it called Orange Theory? I don't know much about it, but something about the orange light changes the chemicals or enzyme or something.
Yeah.
I feel like, the 36 years I've been here, different workout things. I mean, I remember back in the day where you could just put electricity onto your abs and then eat a donut, and then, that was it.
Still there. It's still there.
Buy the gel, and that was it. I had to buy like banana gel, and I would just sit there and eat and play video games and get a 6-pack. That needs to come back.
You're also 20 years old, dude, with no kids.
Yeah. Nah, just to be fair, I've never had a 6-pack before in my life. I'm close now. I have my serratus anterior starting to come out right here. I'm
Nice,
feeling
nice.
that.
Yeah, that's
But
because
yeah, I mean,
you changed your diet, didn't you?
I went vegan. I went
Uh-huh.
straight.
Your
Like
wife is telling me.
same with you and the alcohol, a little bit different. But I woke up one day and I was like, I'm just gonna stop eating meat. Like nothing's changing. My body's not changing. I'm doing the work. I'm putting it in, but it doesn't show. And you get frustrated.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I've done everything else. Like I've done the no carbs, I've done the high protein. That's how I ate in general: high protein, vegetables, low carbs,
Mm-hmm.
and 6 meals a day. Blah blah blah, all this stuff. And then all of a sudden one day I was like, stop eating meat. Let's test it out. Wasn't as hard as I thought. Got B12 supplements, and all of a sudden weight came off. Muscle actually came more, and I would actually go to the gym and lift heavier than I ever have, without having to
Nice.
think about it. And it just it was confusing to me. So yeah, what do you think about veganism? And what's your diet, or what's your promotional diet, I guess, if you will?
Yeah, like I talk to a lot of people about we have to be able to create boundaries and rules in life,
Right,
and the analogy that I give is like, a school zone. A school zone has a boundary, right? It's a
right,
school zone. And then the rule is 15 miles an hour or less.
right,
And the whole point of that is because we want to keep the kids safe. And so we tend to not want to put those same boundaries and rules into our
right.
lives, right? We want to be able to live free and however we want, but then we want to turn around and say like, why do I feel like crap? Or why am I not succeeding in my business or my life? Or why am I so depressed in my relationship, or so
Mm-hmm.
on and so forth? Being able to put just a simple, and that's basically what you did. You woke up in the morning and you said, all right, my new rules, I don't eat meat. Wasn't complex, wasn't
Mm-hmm.
crazy. You
Right,
just said, yeah, I'm just not going to eat meat. Right.
right,
And when you make a hard rule like that and you just go, hey, I'm just not going to eat meat, you know, your body's going to change, because what we
right,
don't realize is that we might say like, oh no, I eat pretty well. Right. I get it all the time. I eat pretty well.
right.
I,
Are you healthy
I,
enough? Yeah.
I drink enough water, right? All the
Right.
time. And it's just like, no, you don't drink enough water. No, you don't eat enough fruits and vegetables. No, you don't exercise enough. No, you don't move enough. Yes, you look at screens and waste your time on television way too much.
Right.
Like, that is the average person out there. They just think that they're differently, right? They're different than the rest. And so
Right.
when it comes to dietary stuff like that, I mean, my two big like rules or anchor rules, one, have fruits and vegetables at every single meal. Never can have a meal unless
Yep.
you have fruits and vegetables available. That immediately cuts out fast food places, right? Because they're not going to have fruits and they're not going to have
Mm-hmm.
vegetables. All right, so we already cut that out. If you really want to get crazy, you can go get a Big Mac, but then you got to go home and you got to get your fruits and vegetables out to
Right.
eat your Big Mac with it. That's fine. That's fine, because the rule is only fruits and vegetables with every meal.
Right.
I'm not saying what you need to have else, but what it does is, since it puts that rule, you're kind of like, wow, I can't eat it because then I have to take it home and then it's going to be cold. Nah, forget it. I'll just go home anyways.
Right.
Right. So it's a very simple, but very effective rule that when put in place, I mean, I did it
I like that.
6 to 8 months ago. I lost
Mm-hmm.
10 pounds. I did not change anything else in my life. I did not exercise anymore. I did not drink any extra water. I did nothing else other than say, I'm going to commit to this rule. I'm going
Right.
to eat fruits and vegetables at every single meal. And so I
Now,
started eating fruits and vegetables at every meal.
and this is
Lost
a
10
good
pounds.
rule for people that don't eat fruits or vegetables normally, right?
No one eats fruits and vegetables, Jeramie.
I do.
You do, because
Now.
you made the
Yeah.
rule, right?
Yeah.
You made the rule. I'm not going to eat protein, right? So,
Right.
well, you need more on your plate because protein took up a decent, spot there. And so
Right.
you said, all right, well, I guess I'll have more fruits and vegetables. It was probably an unconscious kind of thing, other than you knew like fruits and vegetables are healthy for me. I'm becoming vegan or vegetarian, right?
Right.
That I have to have these on my plate.
Right. I have to supplement. Well, my thing was, I have to get full. Like, how do I get full? Because I can't eat this, or
Yeah. Yeah.
and that was a hard transition for me, because I think when people are becoming vegan, you go to any store and you're like, all right, what can I eat now? They get their fruits or vegetables like normal, right? Their broccoli, their cauliflower, steamed spinach or whatever. And then they start to go, well, what do I supplement instead of my steak? And I think that is thinking about it now, it's a huge mistake, because what a lot of people that are going into veganism are doing is they're trying to find a fake steak to match steak, when the whole point of it is to remove steak in general. So, and, you know, think of it as always having some sort of salad or like a rice bowl with fruits and vegetables or something, rather than getting like a tofu burger or a tofu dog or a tofu steak or something. But it's all out there. I mean, if people really want to do it and they really want the fake steak and fake turkey, I mean, it all tastes normal and same to me. But
yeah. Marketing at its finest, though, right?
Oh my God, yeah. It looks like a freaking hot dog. And, you know, the only things I hate in the fake vegan food is any type of sausage, because sausage has a bite to it when you eat it. And all the vegan stuff, it's like mush. You eat it, and it's like mushed. And I'm like, I can't do that. So that's the only thing I really hate.
Sure. Yeah.
So walk me through, you were with Double Edge Fitness for, God, how long? A long years.
Yeah. So before Double Edge Fitness, I started a business with a couple buddies called Human Performance Project.
Okay.
And we put on CrossFit competitions. So we were kind of the first to really start kind of breaking that ground, for sure, in our area.
Right.
And really nationally as well, of trying to push to having these like big competitions. And so we, you know, bought $30,000 worth of equipment that was mobile so that we could take it to wherever we wanted to. So we would take it to a gym and say, hey, you want to run a competition, but you have this teeny little garage gym that you only can fit 10 people in, right? But you want to have a competition of 50, it's not going to work. But we can come and we'll set up our rig and you can use it for X amount of fee, right? And so that was one part of the business. And the other part was actually putting on and hosting our own competitions at you know, kind of a more higher level in terms of marketing and branding and so on and so forth. So that went on for a little bit, which introduced me to Derek and Jacob Wellock, because they were part of the people I was trying to pull to our competitions. And I worked out with Derek and Jacob for a while, maybe a month. And then Derek approached me and said, hey man, I'm doing this big thing. I'm going to open up this massive gym. It's going to be the best of the best. And, you know, I had heard that many a times from many different CrossFit. Like, this is going to be the best.
It's always like any gym too will say that. Like anybody that opens any gym, it's a new, different gym. And, you know, got it.
Yeah. And when I went and saw the location, it was actually pretty impressive. And
I love that location, man.
That location is awesome. The building is awesome. And so then I joined on with them back in 2013, in the fall of 2013.
Okay.
And ended up leaving my job as a valet attendant at the El Dorado and just kind of jumping.
That's right. Did your brother do that too?
Yeah, my brother was valet at the GSR, and then when he started his business, his commercial business, real estate business, he you know, trying to get that off the ground. You're not making any money, right? Unless you're making sales.
I know, entrepreneurship. People don't understand it. Yeah,
it's brutal. And so he ended up working part time at El Dorado, being a limo driver.
Oh, cool.
So he went from the GSR over to the El Dorado. And
I remember seeing one of you guys. I can't remember if it was you or him. I remember seeing one of you guys at valet one time. And I just remember giving you my keys saying, hey, what's up? And then you guys ran away.
Yeah. I mean, that was probably both of us. It was probably
so I'm like, So when you said that, it like brought back a memory that I can't remember who it was.
Yep.
I mean, yeah. So, you know, give it to them, you know, to Derek and Jacob. I mean, that gym is impressive. The Reno one, the Midtown Reno, the location we're talking about is in the middle of Midtown. Yes. Giant brick building. Freaking awesome. You guys kept the aesthetics of everything, kind of open it up. And it's a cool gym. It had that garage feeling, that like rustic old school feeling, but it also had new equipment and cool lighting. So shooting a bunch of stuff in there has always been fun. I will tell you this. So I became a member when I started shooting for you guys.
Yes.
And what I loved was, and like I said, I've been with a couple CrossFit gyms. Yours was different because you gave me, and I think you did it for everybody, you gave me a like 15, 20 minute like intro into CrossFit.
Oh yeah.
Now, nobody else has done that. And for me, it was a huge like duh moment. Like, why aren't they doing this? Because every gym I've gone to, the person who I'm going, the owner of it, let's say, would work out with us, not teach us, right? So it'd be like, we're doing this, and they're ahead of me, of course. You know, we're all doing the workout together, and I'm sitting here doing it, you know, trying to do a push-up or a pull-up, and I'm injuring myself, and I don't know why. And they're not giving me talking about form or anything, but for you actually went through the workout. So then it made me feel comfortable. The next day I went to a class on my own, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, now I know what they're talking about. I will say though, that 20-minute class, I remember just laying down for like 20 minutes after, just dying. Because again, my competitive side, you're like, these are the numbers that people are doing right now. This is what's happening. And I'm like, fuck this. So I just go at it. And then all of a sudden I'm like, cool. Yeah. Thanks. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm going to die now.
But are you guys, I mean, does anybody else do that? Or was that your thing, or how does that work?
Yeah. So, I mean, that was just one of the great things about, Double Edge and its professionalism is being able to find those little niches and be able to incorporate it into the business. And that was something that I brought to Jacob and Derek and said, there needs to be like more of a personal one-on-one, make that basically create a friendship before you're trying to sell a membership,
Right.
And so that was what I was just like, we might as well try it, because we were just letting people come in. And I was just like, I don't think this is the way we should do it. And so we started doing it that way. And, it was, twofold. It was fantastic for the business. It was fantastic for people coming in to be able to feel a little bit more comfortable, particularly if they were new to CrossFit. But it helped me tremendously, particularly where I'm at, because I got to basically interview 4,000 people when it came to their fitness, their habits, their everything that they do. And that's what's helped me to basically create Icon Fitness and do what I do now.
That's a super amazing segue into this, because that's why I wanted you to come on. Ultimately, this is about like, me and you talking, but yeah, you have a business. I mean, you opened a new business, I want to say right before COVID. I can't remember if it was right before COVID or during COVID.
It was right at COVID.
Right at COVID. Okay. I remember there was a post or something.
Yeah. Double Edge wasn't able to, continue with their employees. And so that, along with a bazillion other businesses. So we all got unemployed, and, my attitude is always like, I'm not going to let external factors ever have a control over me. I can only control what's inside my circle. And so, at that time I went, okay, I'm going to start my own business then. And so that was March 16th. And that we got put on unemployment, and I've been basically working on my business every single day since then. That's like, I think I'm 145 days straight.
That's awesome.
Of work. And I don't say that in like a peacock, like, oh, look at me.
No, but
working.
But no, I don't think people understand. Like, I can easily say I've been a professional photographer, self-employed for 12 years.
Yeah.
I have worked every single day on my business, every single day. Even if I'm on vacation, laptop's with me, I'm emailing, I'm doing something for my business.
Yeah.
And I think that people don't realize that entrepreneurship is a 24/7 business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we want our downtime. I would love to, what a lot of these gurus talk about is shut your phone off at 5. Nobody's going to read an email after 7, blah, 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 like all this stuff. You have to have your me time. And I'm like, yeah, but a client called me at 9 and has a question on their thing. Like, I have to talk to them, because otherwise they're going to go somewhere else. Mm-hmm. And stuff like that I'm sure you're dealing with, where you're just like, your hours are kind of crazy right now.
Yeah.
I ran into, and I found out about your business, I think through a post you did on social media. And then I ran into Justin Wheeler at Lowe's one day. And, Justin was one of my groomsmen at my wedding. Yeah. Longtime friend, and never see him. Never see him. I never see him or Gina.
Nope.
In fact, I put them together. That's how
nice.
Name a baby after me.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah. So tell me about Icon. Like, what are you doing? Because it's not just CrossFit. But I know you're coaching people. I've seen you do Zoom meetings, and I see you working out at parks, like kid parks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. Yeah. So to basically put like what Icon Fitness is, it's not what people think it is, and I'm still, my website's about to launch, and it's going to, for a lot of people are going to be like, wait, this is what you do? I look at myself, or I am a fitness consultant, right? A fitness and life consultant. Because after so many years, 10 years of coaching people and trying to get people to live a healthier life, through nutrition and fitness. What I realized is that that was impossible. We live in a society that's always telling us to be on the gas pedal and go, 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 and more, 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 more. And that wreaks havoc in our bodies. The hormones that are released when we're constantly in a stress mode absolutely destroy our bodies. And we don't recognize it, don't see it, and don't think about it. We don't sleep enough. We don't sit down enough. We don't get enough sun. We don't, we aren't out in nature enough. We don't laugh enough. We don't play enough. We don't sing enough. We don't allow us as humans to be who we are.
To be human.
To be human. And so what ends up happening is that the body holds on to inflammation. The body holds on to body fat due to the fact that there's so much chaos that the body's only job, the body and brain's only job is to keep you alive. It knows nothing else, no difference, right? And so it's just going to go, wow, if we're constantly in what's called the fight or flight mode or our sympathetic nervous system, then we're going to be telling the brain, oh shit, we're being chased by a bear or a predator, or there's something that's going to kill us, right? And that's all the brain hears. So it dilates the eyeballs, right? And it opens up your pores and it increases your blood flow and your heart rate goes up and it releases a ton of hormones to be able to get glucose or sugar into your blood so your muscles can immediately react, right? And that's if we were getting chased by a bear, right? But not. It's our boss, our wife, our kids, society, people calling us all the time, people messaging us all the time, and us never slowing down. And so with these hormones constantly coursing through our body, it then has the adverse effect, right? It starts storing. Our body then has to reverse order and go, whoa, there's too much sugar in the bloodstream. We got to take that out. We got to balance. Your body's constantly in a state of trying.
That's what the body's doing, right? It's always trying to balance itself out. No matter
100%.
what.
So it's going to shoot off now a different hormone, right? Insulin's going to go out and insulin's going to go and it's going to grab all those sugars. You know what insulin's going to do? It's going to store it as fat. And so if we're constantly through this and we're only sleeping, let's say 6 hours, that's probably the average person, 5.5 to 6 hours a night is the average person. You're guaranteeing by sleeping 5.5 to 6 hours that you're going to die earlier. There's data out there. There's no way to say that it's not going to. You're going to die earlier. So every time that you decide, no, blank is more important than my sleep. You're going to, when you're on your deathbed, be going, damn, I wish I would have slept more, or I wish I would have spent more time playing or singing or letting things go.
It's never, I wish I would have worked more. I never wish,
Nope.
That sucks because that's what people, I mean, that's basically how, like, I want to say the American lifestyle is, right? It's very, go to bed late, come home, go to bed late, wake up early, get ready, and that's it. And we always talk about searching for this balance, but there's never a balance for everybody. And I even listened to a podcast this morning on the way to a shoot, and it was very like, hey, this is my schedule. This is what you should be doing. And I'm sitting there like, I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm not going to get up at this time every day. I have kids. You don't have kids. I, run this job. I don't have a set time where I'm at my job every day. So when you're talking to your clients now, because I'm sure that's what you're building, are you, it's different for every client. Are you customizing plans? Are you customizing workouts, diets? What is it that you're focusing on with them?
So I don't take anybody on as like an individual client anymore. Fitness and programming is the smallest amount. Everybody knows, right? If I said to you, hey, this Big Mac or this plate of vegetables, without a doubt, you're going to say plate of vegetables, right? Hey, do you think you should go for a run or sit down and watch TV all night long?
TV, totally.
Yes, totally.
What's
everybody knows what they should be doing, right?
Oh yeah.
The problem is there's not a coach and there's not people out there that's saying like, hey, yes, I'm going to help you with the fitness part, but this is not the important part, right? Because you have been neglecting your lifestyle for way too long. And there's a reason why you're carrying that body fat. And there's a reason why your relationship's not working. And there's a reason why you haven't reached your goals is because you're constantly in this rat race and you're actually not going anywhere. The wheel is spinning, But the other mouse who's not in the wheel only needs to take one step to get past you, because you're constantly in this busy work, this constant busy work. And so everybody who comes in now goes through a 12-week program. It's called the 12-week Icon. And what we do is we focus on two things. One, actionable habits every single week that will help your health. Something as simple as like, are you drinking enough water? Yeah, totally I am. No, you're not. And we're going to prove it, right, by going throughout the week, right? And that's our only focus, right?
Wait, all right. So before we move on, how many? I've heard it's half your body weight in ounces a day at the minimum.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, and if people could get that, that's awesome. Most people don't. Yeah. Again, and why are people not getting enough water? You're right. You just nailed it right there. But why are people not getting enough water? Is it because they don't know? No, it's because their life is owning their ass every single day. Right. And they're too busy. And then I got to react to this fire. And then I'm jumping over here. And then, oh yeah, I forgot about this. And then it's the end of the night and they're super thirsty and they've already skipped their lunch, right?
Yeah. Like, and then they'll procrastinate to tomorrow. They're like, I'll make it up for tomorrow. And then every day becomes tomorrow.
Right. And so it's being able to say like, hey, here are the essential tools to health beyond like, yes, here's your workout regimen. Here's the simple nutrition, right? Facts, really, when it comes down to it. When we come to nutrition, I go, cool, we'll talk about macros or micros or whatever else you want to when you start eating fruits and vegetables at every meal.
That stuff scares the crap out of me, dude. Like macros, micros, 1 to 1 to 2 ratio, the whole like fasting for 8 hours, not eating, the rest of the stuff. And I might have talked about this too, but like, my daughter right now is she's 13. She's worried about her body. She's on TikTok looking at all these girls doing these dances and all that. Yeah. And she's starting to go to YouTube and she's starting to research, which is the scariest thing about YouTube right now.
Massively
she's researching how people are eating, what they're eating.
Yeah.
And, a few weeks ago, and she's off of it now, but, she's eating a lot like me now, modifying a little bit with some animal protein.
Yeah.
But she's, I remember one day she's like, oh, I'm only eating from 11 to 3. And then I'm not eating until tomorrow from 11 to 3. I'm like, who told you that? What are you doing? She's like, oh, on YouTube, there's this girl that does that. And she lost a bunch of weight. And I'm like, but what weight do you need to lose at 13? And so, she's not obese. She's not fat. She's not anything. And she's just not looking like these girls on TikTok shaking their booties.
Yep.
So I might have to talk to you about that, I don't know if you do anything for like kids or teens or something, but I've been struggling with that because she doesn't listen to me. I'll tell her anything all day. I'm like, this is what how you're killing your body. And she's like, no, but the guy on YouTube said, and I'm like, oh God, okay.
Yeah. That's exactly, the teenagers I've worked with before, the biggest way for me, or the most effective way, I guess I should say, when it comes to teenagers is I take them to the grocery store.
Oh, cool.
I take them to the grocery store, I give them a cart and I say, okay, you have to plan out your meal for the week. Go grab what you think, right? Because then it just gives me a baseline, right? It's just like testing somebody's air squats or doing anything else. I'm not going to tell you, you show me, right? And then we can talk about it, right? Because they're going to get pulled to the fancy labels that say non-GMO, gluten-free, right? Organic, right? But it's still 17 grams of sugar per serving. It's still, 42 grams of carbohydrates.
Stuff. Yeah, all these words. People see sugar-free. They're like, oh, I can eat a bunch of that. Diet Coke, 0 calories. I can drink a bunch of that. I'm like, there's a reason.
It's marketing and branding at its finest. And so, being able to test people like that and then keep it simple, like nutrition is not hard. Fitness is not hard and lifestyle is not hard. You keep things simple. You make simple decisions and you stick by those things and you'll get far. Again, look at you. You said, hey, I'm going to keep it simple. I'm not going to eat animal meat.
Right.
How's that gone for you?
Did you
start counting your carbohydrates? Did you start, timing when your meals were used to?
It's weird. So I used to carry it's still on my phone, but like I used to carry an app around and or put everything that I ate in it, and I know at the end of the day, like my basal metabolic rate or the amount of calories I could take at a max would be like, let's say 1900 for the day based off my weight and all that. And so I'd be like, all right, I'm going to eat 1600 calories today. And I would eat, a little throughout the day. And I know that you put something out there. You put a challenge out there last week or the week before. And I saw that. saying something where make breakfast your biggest meal.
Yes.
And then go lighter as you go through, which I thought was a great idea because, you know, people don't understand the word breakfast means breaking your fast. Like you fasted all night. Now your body needs that fuel to go. Anywho, yeah, it's insane how you get so focused on one thing where I was on that number of calories. It actually wasn't even what I was eating. It was about the number.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, oh, I can eat 3 Oreo cookies and it's 200 calories. Okay, I can do that. And I'm like, but I mean, Oreo cookies. Like, what am I doing? That's not sustainable for my body. So, yeah, I mean, like you said, I decided on one thing. I'm going to kill animal protein, no eggs, no meats, no dairy, and see how that works for me. And it worked. And I did it for a complete, like, high cholesterol body mentality. It wasn't because I would save the animals. And I know a lot of people do it because of that. So that's a whole different thing. But if it didn't work for me, if my body was malnourished or malnourished or something like that, I would have easily gone back and done something else. But it's working for me. And dude, I can eat as many carbs as I want at this point. Like, I don't even count it. And for some reason, my body is pooping it out.
Yeah. You're getting the appropriate micronutrients, and that's something that people don't talk about, right? We need the micronutrients for our cell generation, for our hair to grow, our nails to grow, right? For our organs to be to work appropriately. And when we eat very low micronutrient foods, and we're only focusing on a calorie or a macronutrient, our body is going to go, no, we still don't have the micronutrients we need to be able to take care of business. So you know what your body's going to tell you to do? I need you to eat more because you gave us very low micronutrient food. And so it's going to tell you that it's hungry again.
Because it doesn't have what it needed.
It doesn't have what it needs to be able to generate just at a base cell level, right? So it's going to trigger to the brain, because what does the body and the brain want to do? Stay alive. That's all it cares about. Right. So if it's getting crappy ass food that's very micronutrient, like pulled through it, right? It doesn't have the density that it needs. Then your body's just going to tell you to eat again and eat again. And so then people feel terrible about it because they're like, I just feel hungry again, but I'm counting my macros and it's not working. I'm not losing weight.
Right.
Like, that's because you are eating, like, you're getting caught eating the packages of non-GMO gluten-free bullshit crap.
Right.
That doesn't have the micronutrients. You know what you need to do? Go eat fruits and vegetables at every freaking meal that are micronutrient dense.
Yeah, it's weird because, like, I mean, people know this, right? I mean, they know that if they go on vacation and they eat fast food and out restaurants for like a week, and then all of a sudden they get back home, they're craving a salad. They're craving fruits and vegetables. They're just craving a home cooked meal because their body has not had that, right? It's negative on what it needed. And I think people don't associate that with same with water. Like I've always heard, and it's the same for me. If I don't have enough water, I start to feel hungry. So one of my things that I was doing was drinking like water first before I ate. And that gets me my water down, but it also, I don't know, helps my brain, I guess, figure out maybe you weren't really hungry. You were just thirsty.
It's a trigger. If you're thirsty, your brain will confuse it for hunger. Yeah. And so again, that's why it's one of the foundational, very first things that I talk about in the program is water. Like,
that's insane. So we know sleep, we know water. And then I think once you get those two, then hopefully, like I said, I even like your fruits and vegetables. Like make sure you have that at every meal. Have whatever else you want. Make sure you have your fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, it's about addition, not subtraction.
I love that. So tell me how do people kind of sign up for you? What to expect? Who's your typical client? Like, who would I send your way?
Yeah. So the person I'm looking for is like the busy man and woman, right? Who is looking for kind of a drastic change. They're like, things have not worked for me, right? I need a change, not only in my health, but I need a change in my life. I'm not getting to the goals I want to get to. I don't feel fulfilled when I wake up. I struggle to have energy in the middle of the day, at the end of the day. I always seem to be short-tempered, right? Okay. And basically, you're not living at your body's optimal health. And most of us aren't, right? We're just not tapping into it. We think more is more, right? We think, oh, what I need to do is I need to go exercise, right? Because I haven't been exercising, so I got to go exercise, right? So I'm
Right.
going to exercise, and then I'm going to take away my calories.
Right.
So we're going to take away the calories, right? That are already what you're eating doesn't have the micronutrients that it needs. So now you're depleting your body, and you're not taking anything out of your life. Your cup is still massively full and overflowing, right? Because you're constantly trying to put more in. That's really just garbage. It's nothing that's actually moving the needle for you. You just feel like you need to be answering emails all the time. You just feel like you need to have another meeting. You just feel like you need to be part of this new program or this special group, right? You don't, right? It's not moving the needle for you. So then they add in exercise at the top. We're just depleting our body. So eventually, yes, willpower, because mentally we feel ashamed because our body isn't the best, or we feel like if I commit to this program, I'll feel better inside. Something will change about me. But that willpower will only last for so long. And then guess what? Like so many people that we know, including you and including myself, right? Willpower goes away. And we fall back to our habits, right? Right. We don't rise to the occasion, right? We fall back to our training. It's a quote that I love because people always think like, oh, no. You like, I'm going to go above and beyond. No, you're going to go to what your habits have trained you to do.
Right.
That's it, period. Right. And so what this program is about is being able to say, first and foremost, let's recognize the habits that our body needs base, and there's 12 of them, right? And I go through it in the 12 weeks. Each week, here is what your body needs, your mind needs, this connection first. And then throughout the 12 weeks, we use what's called a full focus planner. And basically, I audit people's lives. I go, oh, you think you're going to hit that goal? Cool. I want you to write down that goal. Let's just see if you even know how to be able to structure an appropriate goal. And most people have no idea, right? They've heard of SMART or SMARTER, right? But they've never actually sat down, invested the time into it, and done it, right? First and foremost. And then if you ask majority of people, hey, what does your year look like? Did you plan out your year? Yeah, that's a joke, right? Maybe a vacation that's down the road, right? Maybe, right? They know Christmas and Thanksgiving. Well, I'll put that on my calendar, right? Then you ask them, what about your quarter? How's your quarter look? And they're just like, I don't know. I know it's going to go from like summer to fall. Like, yeah, is that what you mean? And then I go, okay, well, how about your month, right? What's your month doing to reach you closer to that goal? Oh, well, I know that I have like a project due for school, or, I have this meeting for work. Okay. All right. Well, what about your weeks? What do your weeks look like? How planned out is your entire week? Well, I mean, I just know that there's a football game on Saturday. Okay. Well, how about your day? Are you owning your day? Or is your day bitch slapping you every single day? And the answer to most people is, I'm getting bitch slapped every single day by life because I'm in a constant reactive mode, which then puts me into that sympathetic state, which then releases all those crappy hormones, which then makes me feel lethargic, which then makes me emotional, which then puts me into eating crappy ass food at night, not getting enough rest. And the cycle continues all over again. So until we fix the underlying base issue of, are you creating enough time, just 30 minutes every day, to sit down and say, hey, tomorrow, what's going to move me closer to my goal, right? The goal that I wrote down that was very specific. It was measurable. It was actionable. It was risky. It was time-based. It was exciting, right? It was relevant. It was smarter, right? It had those things. But if I'm not putting the time away, 30 minutes to be able to say, I'm going to do these exact things tomorrow. And sometimes life happens, right? If you have kids and everything else, that stuff, it can happen. But if you have a focus for the day, you're going to get to the end of the day and you're going to go, man, I crushed that freaking day. I feel so good. Instead of going like, man, I was just reacting to everything. And now I'm just like, so exhausted getting home that I just can't wait to turn on the TV and sit and do absolutely nothing and go back and forth from the kitchen to the couch, right? Eating the crappy food because I'm emotionally drained, not only physically drained.
I think it's funny that, people will spend all their time doing things that'll kill them, but won't spend any of the time doing things that'll help them. We make time and effort for our 8 to 5 jobs, 9 to 5 jobs, whatever. for most people who work for somebody else, they're really just doing it to help other people. They get the money now, but ultimately it's not, for themselves. So that's the hardest thing for me, because owning my own business, I have to find that time every day. Whether, it's for me, I actually love going to the gym now. I have a Peloton at home, so I love going on the Peloton,
Nice.
Headphones in, something where I can just drown everything out. So I go to this local Anytime Fitness here because it's here and I can go anytime. Yeah. But if anybody sees me there, that's why. Everybody that sees me there, like, I'll just never say hi to people that I even know, because I'm there for like me. I'm like, I'll pretend I won't even see you. If you walk in, I'm like, I don't know you. And that's my me time. So I like that. I'm highly, highly considering, I'm going to email you later or shoot you a message to talk to my wife and Jamie, because they're both in this world right now. And I think it's that cycle that's going on. Yeah. So let me ask you, your website's going to be up soon. What's the best way for people to contact you right now?
Joel@iconfitness.com. Okay. Or they can go to my Instagram page, which is Joel_Cochran_.
Cool. And then you have a Facebook page as well.
I do.
A business page, Icon Fitness, right?
Yeah.
And I did tag that. If you guys are watching this on Facebook Live, I did tag that. Go ahead and click that and give them a like there. We'll get more than the 30 people that like it right now, because
that's right.
My world social media, buddy. Get it up there.
Yeah.
So out of your clients now, this might be a tough question. What are people doing right? What are people doing right, but maybe they're just not hitting their goals? When they come in, you ask them questions. They're like, I'm doing this. And you're like, oh, that's what you're supposed to be doing. Because I know that every time I talk to any trainer or somebody that's, about food or diet or whatever, people are doing wrong. What are people doing right?
Yeah. The best thing that people are doing right is, one, looking for a coach, right? Okay. If you want to advance, honestly, for anybody out there, you're not the smartest person in the room. You're just not, right? And if you think that you're the smartest person, or you think that you don't need help, you're not going to reach the goals that you think, or the dreams, I should say, dreams that you think that you're going to reach. And so when people first and foremost put their ego to the side and say, I need help, like, I'm not sure, right? And I'm willing to invest into you as my coach to help me through it. That is number one, because there's plenty of people who are sitting there trying to YouTube or trying to read the next book, instead of just going, hey, you know what? If I'm serious, I'm going to make a commitment. And when you have to make a commitment, like, I've spent over 10 grand on consultants and coaches myself,
licensure, business. I mean, it's your world.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like I don't want to do this on my own. There's dudes out there that have already spent tens of thousands of dollars to be able to learn something. And instead of me wasting my time and my money and my effort, I'll just say, hey, I'm going to give you $8 grand and I'm going to have you coach me through this time in my life. Right. And people look at me crazy when they're like, well, you paid somebody $8 grand? I said, yeah, I paid somebody $8 grand and it's going to make me 28 grand, or
what do they think college is? Like, you're paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for people to teach you things. I mean, it's the same concept. It's just specifically focused. I mean, it goes back to the reinventing the wheel, right? Like if I always say this, but if I need something done, I need brain surgery, I'm not going to go to YouTube and figure out how to fix my own brain. I'm going to go call a brain surgeon, a specialist who has done the training, paid whoever to get that done. So like right now, if people are struggling with time management, weight, disease, anything like that can be fixed by food or diet or whatever you offer, why not just give you the chance to do it rather than trying to figure it out yourselves? Because I can tell you, when I became vegan, there was no way for me to measure how vegan was affecting me. It wasn't for months later where I started to notice a change in my body. And then that's the only thing I could equate it to. But I think I started veganism at the same time you opened up your spot.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, people being able to ask for help is the biggest thing and not get stuck. I mean, you got the people that are, go to WebMD and try to instead even going to doctors, right?
Right.
It's just like, and we're all professionals in our field. Like if I want to If I want to get the best pictures, I'm going to come to you, right?
Totally.
If I want to learn actually and go, hey, you know what, Jeramie, could I get your time? Could I pay you $250 for an hour for you to teach me about the best podcast setup? You'd be like, shit, yeah, man, let's do it. And I can bypass all the research and all the time that you had to do, and you went through and you beta tested everything, and you went, this camera that I'm using right now is the best one to use, and that's what you should use. Cool. $250 all day I would spend that, because now I don't have to waste my time and I can go to it. And that's what people's attitude needs to be, is be able to go, yes, you need to vet the person that you're putting your trust into, right? And if that person is vetted and they show experience, get over yourself, pull out your checkbook and write the dang check. And I promise you, when you put down a big number for a program or for...
You're gonna freaking do it. Yeah.
You're gonna do it, right?
At least to make your money back.
And to get the experience, right? You're more bought in there than you are like, well, I don't know, I'm going to do this like $25 like booty butt program that I saw on Instagram.
Right.
Oh, okay, good luck, right? Because you're still not going to change the base foundation. Your habits are still your habits. You change absolutely nothing. You fall back to the same thing. And then you end up doing the whole, oh, I'm going to blame the world. I'm going to blame my mom. I'm blaming genetics. I'm going to blame my job. I'm going to blame my husband. I'm going to blame my wife, right? No. So again, the best thing that people can do, get over yourself, go ask for help, pull out your checkbook, pay for it.
Right. What's that saying? The cheap becomes expensive. Like a Hispanic saying, right? So, I mean, it's crazy. Like, so right now we actually have new windows being installed on our house on upstairs. So I could Google how to install Windows.
Oh yeah.
Fuck it up and break some windows and curse and spend 3 days of my time. Or I can hire a professional company that does windows, pay them a good amount of money, and they can put it up for me, and I never have to worry about it again. Same with your plumbing, same with your lawn, same with whatever. So, yeah, why is this any different? And I feel like, like you said, the whole mentality, the companies that have those 30-minute classes, those free classes that kind of come up on YouTube, those influencer trainers on TikTok who actually aren't certified in anything, are trying to show you how to do things, and they're not taking into account that everybody's body type's different, everybody's goals are different, their diet's
everybody's
different,
life's different, you know?
Right. I can't buy dumbbells and then look like the dude that's selling the dumbbells.
No.
I just saw like a nutrition company post something about one of their protein products, and they said, yeah, here's one of our guys using after 6 months of using our protein product, and he's like ripped. And I'm like, but what did he do? Did he just take the product and all of a sudden he got ripped?
Yeah,
that's for me, that it's frustrating because there's so much stuff out there. So yeah, being able to just go to you and be like, dude, just tell me what to do, please. It's kind of, stress relieving, if you will.
Without a doubt. Yeah. You don't have to worry about the how, you just worry about the results of a healthier body and happier life.
I love it, buddy. So Deanna Marie said, hi, Coach Joel. And then Gina said some hi stuff too.
Nice.
So Deanna said, I took a downward turn fast when I injured myself, and then the pandemic happened. Mother of macros, so I tagged in here, is the only thing that helped me not gain a ton of weight. Nice. But I could definitely use some guidance on what my body needs for sure. So she's in there as well. But yeah, I mean, dude, I'm excited for you. I think this is cool. I like that you pivot. I think everything happens for a reason. And I think everything you've done has kind of led to this. Even at Double Edge, talking to you, I always knew that you had like a vast mentality. I didn't know how much you were making. I didn't know where you were in the totem pole of the brothers and everybody in there. But I know that you knew your shit. And even just the way you talk here, looking at some of your Zooms and just stuff that you're posting, it's you can kind of tell there's a passion there. So you're gonna kill it. What's the goal here? What are we trying to do with this business in the next year then?
Yeah, I mean, the next year is really to be able to help people bring awareness, particularly within Northern Nevada, just my community in general, the importance of our lifestyle, right? The importance of what we're doing to ourselves and to our bodies by constantly living in that fight or flight. Like I basically want to get people to stop being chased by a bear. And so the goal is to be able to bring as much awareness as I possibly can to people. because particularly right now with this pandemic and the stress and the anxiety, and then all these different fitness companies coming in and trying to like toss in like, no, we'll solve all your problems for $29.99,
Right.
you know, and it's just not, it's not. We have to look at the foundation, and we have to look at it with purpose. And everyone's going to be different, just like you said in the very beginning of the podcast, in terms of like, hey, I got 3 kids and I own my own business, is going to be drastically different than the 25-year-old, right, who has no kids, right, and is working
all the time in the world. Yeah.
Right. And so that's going to be different. Now, it's still the same. I want the 25-year-old, right, to own the day the same way as I want the entrepreneur with 3 kids to own the day. Right.
Right.
And I want to be able to give them the appropriate techniques, life techniques, to be able to get the most out of drinking their water and out of getting sleep and being able to create these habits so that's something they have for the rest of their life. It's what they now can fall back to, instead of, oh, I'm going to have willpower and then I'm going to fall way down again. I'm going to have willpower and I'm going to fall way down. Whole idea, right? When the tide rises, the boats rise with it. And if we can make the boats rise through the tide, then why aren't we working on the tide? It's just, it's not sexy. A lot of people don't know how to do it, you know? And so the goal is really to be able to bring awareness in the next year. And then the hopes is to work with people and then be able to bring that back home.
Yeah, it's just growing. I mean, I always like asking that question a year from now, and it's always, you know, the end game is always completely different than what we wanted. You know, it's usually for the better, you know, usually it's something like, oh, I didn't expect to get this way. But yeah, the thing with owning a business and being an entrepreneur is it's a constant pivot. It's a constant, like, my rates are this. Oh my God, people aren't hiring me because of this. So you'll go through it. Which also is a good thing. You know, you'll have competitors come at you. And once that happens, you're fucking, that's it. That's like, you're like, I'm here, because they're scared as shit now. Are you wearing 2 watches?
Good question that you're asking. So this is what I utilize with all my clients. It's called a Whoop.
Cool. Yeah.
It's a biometric wearable. And so I'm able to keep track of all my clients, their resting heart rate, their HRV, their sleep performance, their stress throughout the day. It's an objectable way for me to be able to measure so that people can actually see, because people don't believe that their life is that bad. They don't believe that they're that stressed out. They believe that they're sleeping more and they're drinking more water than they actually are. And then when we throw one of these on them and I'm able to go, and the proof is in the pudding. No, you're not.
You're not sleeping. You're not.
Nope. I'll make
Holy crap. So all of your clients get one of those?
Yep. Anybody who starts the 12-week program gets one of these, which is the planner and a Whoop. And we start from the base and we move up. And so that way we have data from the very beginning to the very end. So it's not just like, well, I kind of feel better. No, I can literally print out in the Whoop app, you can print out a monthly performance assessment where it measures everything. Okay. And we can measure different specific things. And so that's where it's kind of customized even more, is through the Whoop app.
I'm a huge techie, so anything tech wise is my homie. So I think that's cool, and it keeps everybody a little bit accountable too. So there's not having to be like, are you sure? Like, you know, yeah, I've been doing everything and I'm still gaining weight or I'm still doing whatever. And you're like, well,
oh yeah, no, they can't lie.
Yeah, either you were or you weren't, or something else we have to figure out.
Yeah.
But it takes for that middleman. Awesome, dude. All right, stay on with me for one quick second here.
Sure.
Bye, Facebook. We're out. All right, cool. Dude, no, that was awesome. Yeah. Like I said, I'll shoot you an email here pretty soon. I have a little note that I want to get Jamie and Lindsay involved. Is there like an age range that you do this with, or a minimum or a maximum or anything? Cool.
No. I mean, I work with adults because due to the fact that that's where we're out of control. Like, the last time we were sleeping good and eating good is when we were at home with our parents in high school, where we were timed sleep schedule, timed eat schedule. That's the way our body naturally likes it. And so I'll one-off work with people in terms of like, hey, this is going to take about a month, you know?
Yeah.
But my pivot is pretty much towards this 12-week program, just due to the fact that there's so many people out there that need it. But I do have, like I said, I have clients that are just paying month to month, you know? It's just, you won't see me market it anymore.
Right.
When my website comes out, it's just going to be the 12-week icon. That's it.
No, I like that. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, it's same with me. I have packages, but also I'll customize things to what people need if they need it. So it's a smart way to go. But I like that. Yeah. So yeah, I want to get both of them going, whether it's a 12-week program or month to month or something. But I think having some sort of constructive workflow or something will help them both, because they're both very talking about bodies all the time, talking about how they look and feel, and it's never anything positive. So there's only so much I can say or do. And
as a dad, you stand a very long shot in terms of being able to have a verbal effect on them when it comes to that stuff.
Apparently I don't know anything, and that's what happens, dude. When you get there, you're gonna be like, yeah, this is all like, one day you're gonna be like, hey kids, here's my knowledge on everything health and fitness wise. And they'll be like, what do you know? You don't know anything.
You don't know shit. You've been doing this your entire life. You don't know nothing.
It's always like celebrities' kids who are like, Conan O'Brien's kids are like, he's just Conan O'Brien.
You know what you need to do? You just need to get on YouTube.
I know,
just do a YouTube one for your daughters, right? And be able to say like, oh, did you see it on YouTube? It was me. It's on YouTube. So now it's official. It's certified.
This will eventually go on YouTube. But I mean, it's, oh my God, it's so frustrating looking at what she's watching. And I'm sitting there like, this person's an idiot. They have no idea what they're talking about. But like everything they're saying, you're absorbing. So if they were like, go find a dinosaur, milk it, drink the milk, and then you're good. And they're going to be like, Dad, we got to go find a dinosaur now.
Yeah. Right now, because it will tell me I'm going to lose 15 pounds and have this big old fat ass and be tan and like smarter. And
5 years from now, fat asses aren't going to be a thing. So then everybody's going to have to go to anti-fat asses and,
it's going to be, flat ass.
Happen. Dude, thank you so much. All right. I know you got a busy day, so I'm going to get this posted on the podcast called Raw Focus, and then YouTube, but it's on Facebook now, so feel free to push and share that wherever you want for the convo. And then I have a few things I'll email you about. I do want you to come. I'm president of an organization called Weddings of the West. It's called WOW. But I think it'd be cool to have you come and do a little like 30-minute workshop, especially that balanced life stuff, and then hopefully that'll pull in some clients too. But these are all like business owners all throughout the Reno, Tahoe, Carson area, so it's good to put you in front of there.
I would love that, man. Thank you so much.
Awesome, buddy. I appreciate it. Emin, have an awesome day.
Yeah, dude. Thank you so much for the opportunity, man. I always love being able to talk and be able to widen my platform. And
you got to, you got to keep doing it. But you know your shit, dude. So it helps.
Yeah, thanks, bro.
Awesome, man. All right, I'll talk to you later.
All right, bro.
Bye.
Bye.